Coast bluster has become the Cowboys' signature, but the 49ers had a loftier perspective and a more convincing tone.
Hey, it's enough talk! It's enough talk! They go have them! It's enough take it, baby! Let's take it!
And if anyone doubted the Niners' resolve, the game's fourth play should have answered any questions.
Away. Eric Davis picks it off! He's got a lane down the left side! 40, 10, 5! Touchdown, 49ers!
Davis's stunning score set the tone for a furious 4-minute spasm, which saw 3 Dallas turnovers punctuated by the same number of 49ers scores. On the Cowboys' next possession, Blitzkrieg struck again.
Sends it down the left side. Ball is caught and knocked down. That could be a fumble. 49ers pick it up. Let's see what they call here, whether that's to the left side and so does Rice. Fake to Waters, and Young pump fakes, then goes back to Ricky the other way. He's all alone at the 20, down to the 10. He's at the 5. He dives. He's into the end zone. It should, well, he got out. Yes, touchdown 49ers.
Instant as it was incredible, San Francisco had a 2-touchdown lead. But if Dallas thought it couldn't get worse, they were mistaken. For on the ensuing kickoff, the carnage continued.
And Williams, who grabs it at the 8-yard line. Kevin comes into the middle of the field, cuts to his left to the 20. Gets to the 25, and he's out near the 30-yard line. Ball is fumbled.
The 35-yard line. Great field position again.
With a short field, the 49ers scored their 3rd touchdown in short order.
Double tight end. Rice a wing on the left side. Waters and Floyd. They give it to Floyd. He gets in easy, standing up. Washington grabs him. It's too late. Niners, after 7.5 minutes of this game, lead 20-0.
William Floyd gave San Francisco 21 reasons to celebrate. But with more than 52 minutes to play, Dallas knew that being down a ton gave them time to atone.
This is just unbelievable.
Letting the playmaker play is always good policy. And with ample protection, Dallas steadied its legs and got down to the gritty business of coming back.
Here's the third. Double team Jackson Aikman, a deep ball. He's got a man down the left side. 44 yards, and the game might be on yet.
Well, what a great throw.
Dallas was hardly crisp, and Chris Boniol's missed field goal didn't help the cause. And while the histrionics probably didn't either, there was still hope.
Hey, wait, listen!
After the 49ers kicked a field goal of their own, the Cowboys answered by driving 59 yards to the San Francisco 4-yard line, where Mr. Automatic took over.
Smith with a pitch. Lead blockers banging near the goal line. Touchdown, Emmitt Smith with 1:56 left.
Trailing by 10 points with just over a minute to play, Dallas pondered, then promptly squandered a chance to run out the clock. With so little time left in the half, Steve Young didn't have much choice but to throw for the end zone. With the NFL's all-time touchdown leader split wide, the only real question was whether he would face double or triple coverage.
Goes for the end zone. Rice is out there. Touchdown 49ers. Down pass.
Did not know that was coming.
And speaking of spikes and nails, maybe that's it.
I think that might be the one. What a turnaround, and that's what the 49ers can quite honestly do.
Coming up, highlights of the Chargers come from behind thriller and an interview with their quarterback, Stan Humphries.
What a big touchdown just before the half. 49ers in good shape. Let's call on the most valuable player in the National Football League. Of course, I'm talking about Steve Young, and get his thoughts on this first half of the football game. Steve, you guys, within about 8 minutes, you're up 21-0. What were you thinking at the time?
Well, I thought it was really important that we got those 7 points out of those turnovers. You know, it's great to get turnovers early in the game, and when it was 21-0, my feeling was just don't let them make big plays. If they have to earn every touchdown, you know, we were pretty much in control of the game. But I knew there was a lot of game left, and with the Cowboys, it certainly wasn't over with 21-0.
Steve Young, boy, what a difference a year makes. You know, this year you rip into George Seifert because he takes you out of the Philadelphia game, and then on Sunday against Dallas, you jump all over rookie Adam Walker because he has that dumb penalty. You're really emotional. What's changed from this year and last year?
I don't know. In the past, I think I tried to just be the example as far as, you know, play hard, keep your mouth shut, lead the team that way. And this year I realized that you could actually lead the team by doing that, plus, you know, letting people know how you feel. And I think the first time I did that was with George, and I really didn't mean to. I think it just started seeping out the sides of me, and as it broke loose, the rest of the year, I got more and more vocal. In fact, a lot of guys are telling me to shut up now. They're getting sick of me.
Steve, you're such a hardcore guy now, but I want you to take me back to the end of that first half. How surprised were you to actually get the football and then to see the coverage that allowed you to throw deep with only 14 seconds to go in the half and really not much help deep on Jerry Rice?
Yeah, I was very shocked because you know we had to go to the end zone. Any play in the, you know, that kept the clock going, we weren't going to get the field goal team on. So our only shot was go to the end zone. I think the thing that helped us was looking off the corner, because the corner was trying to look inside to see where the ball was going. And by the time he saw me turn to go that way, Jerry had slipped behind him. To us, probably the play of the game, because it reestablished our momentum going into the half, 31-14.
Steve, please stick with us if you would. We're going to take a look at the second half highlights and maybe take a look at Steve Young at the game's end to see how he reacts in just a few minutes. Great champions die hard, and the Dallas Cowboys were no exception. Here's the final 30 minutes of the NFC title game.
The Dallas Cowboys, despite being down 21-0 after 3 turnovers on their first 3 possessions, have kept fighting back.
For the defending world champions, hope fell from the sky.
Short kick, fielded and fumbled at the 20-yard line, rolling around loose. Dallas got the football back.
This game just won't let anybody up for air, will it? They just won't let anybody up for air.
From the 1, hand off to the hamstring, and it's in for the touchdown.
Emmitt Smith pounds it back in, and back to a 10-point game again. This thing just is not going to let us up.
The Cowboys needed to slow down San Francisco, but number 94, Charles Haley, the linchpin of their defense, was single-blocked or double-teamed. This vice, the Cowboys' primary pass rusher, was squeezed and suffocated. The mobile offensive line blasted apart the Cowboy defense, and into the breach ran William Floyd, number 40, and Ricky Waters, number 32. Beating the Cowboys was becoming a
piece of cake. Piece of cake, come!
The 49ers appear to have too many weapons for Dallas to handle.
Waters coming out of the backfield. There he is.
He was quarterback Steve Young, who superbly generaled this magnificent offensive army. As always, Young hurt the Cowboys with both his arm and his leg.
Throws Young. And Young steps away from trouble, starts to run, gets to the 30, feints him out to the 35 to the 40.
The stunned Cowboys trailed 38-21 and seemed like fatted calves being led to slaughter. These champions died hard. Quarterback Troy Aikman, who had never lost a playoff game he started, threw for almost 400 yards. Aikman was pummeled, and so was the playmaker, Michael Irvin, whose 12 catches for 192 yards were both championship game records. But it was the final member of their offensive triumvirate who was hamstrung.
Emmitt, I believe, just pulled that hamstring again, Brad. He hurt something going to the sideline.
Although the Cowboys lost the heart and soul of the team, their comeback hopes still had a pulse.
Block from Newton. He throws it in the end zone to Irvin for a touchdown with 8:29 to play.
Too long. Well, let's make some comeback. Yeah, we got cash in this time. Come on, stop.
The Cowboy defense rose up in the final quarter.
The ball now, be aware. I think he gave us a little pressure from the backside. So, Steps, if he's off the ball now, you won't get as much help.
One player who needed no help was Neon Deion Sanders, the hired gun of the 49er defense. Brought in for just this situation, a one-on-one shootout with Michael Irvin, the all-pro cornerback proved his worth in 2 key duels.
Straight back drop, pumps, goes way down the left side, and Deion Sanders has an interception. For just a moment, I had the feeling he might have pushed off on Irvin.
He did. But Irvin, they're pushing each other every play. The two of them have their hands all over each other.
The crucial play of the fourth quarter was a controversial no call on Dion for interfering with Irvin.
It was all over Irvin, elbows to the chin. He is trying to get a call. Oh, did he just get a flag?
He got the flag.
Barry Switzer, I believe, has just been flagged for bumping the official.
Time and the 49ers combined to crush the dreams of a three-peat by Dallas.
Hey, baby, go.
King was dead. The man who would be king was coronated by acclamation.
Steve Young getting to the Super Bowl. Now he'll have to win one.
The 49ers are going to the Super Bowl, number 29 in Miami. The NFC Championship belongs to San Francisco as they win it 38-28.
Once again assuming their accustomed position atop the NFC. The 49ers were primed to win an unprecedented 5th Super Bowl championship. And they would enter the ultimate game like they had always done in the past, with the best quarterback in professional football.
I had to look twice to see who that guy was running around the field there. Number 8, that was Steve Young. Let's bring him back here and find out what was going through his mind. Steve, taking that lap, the people were saying, Steve, Steve, we love you, Steve. What was going through your mind at that particular time?
Well, to me, I wanted to enjoy it most I could, and the only way I knew I could the most was to do it with the fans. There had been a group of people behind our bench throughout the year that were very supportive, and I started, all of a sudden I'm surrounded by all these reporters and photographers, and I said, you know, I don't want to do it with these guys. I want to do it with the people right there behind the bench. So I kind of cleared my way and found my way over there, and I was just having a great time with the fans. You can't imagine winning that game against Dallas at home in front of our fans and to go to the Super Bowl. The emotions were intense.
Well, Steve, let's look ahead to that Super Bowl matchup now against the San Diego Chargers. You guys played them and really beat them soundly in Week 15 of the season. They tried to play a lot of very cautious zone defenses against you in that ball game, and you simply ate them up. Do you expect anything totally different this time around?
Well, they're very consistent in their coverages. Bill Arnsparger is somebody that, you know, is very solid defense, play, not a lot of chances and so forth. So I don't know they're going to forsake everything, but you got to expect that they'll take some chances with the blitz, with Junior coming on, maybe his zone blitzes and other things that can kind of try to shake us up in the game. But I don't expect sellouts for them to throw their defensive game plan away or their playbook and come up with something completely new.
Steve, I know one thing's for sure. You are not going to be overconfident because this is the first Super Bowl that you will be starting after Joe Montana. But isn't the team falling in the same trap as Pittsburgh? Heck, even your owner, Eddie DeBartolo, said, we already played our Super Bowl and I guarantee a win.
Wow. I didn't hear him say that, but I think, and you go around the locker room, that's not the way people feel. We talked, and you can take the quotes from last August. This is all we talked about, the Super Bowl. This is the one thing we wanted. It's the one thing that we were going for all year long. We risked everything we got this week when we played the San Diego Chargers. So to us, I think this is a team that's possessed. No matter what you might hear in the periphery as far as people's feelings about the game, the guys in the locker room are focused, ready to play, and I don't think there's anything that's not going to make us totally prepared.
Steve, let me ask you about your wide receiver, John Taylor. He certainly is not 100%, 32 years old now. You figure in this game they'll probably try to take away Jerry Rice. I know you blocked Brenton Jones a lot more to help with the protection last week against the Cowboys. Is John Taylor now fully capable of taking control of a big game like this?
I think John is. You know, he's had struggles with his knees all year long, trying to get healthy. Some weeks he feels pretty good, and in the game something will happen. So he's been in and out of the lineup, but when he's in there, he's made big plays. In the last 2 weeks, even though the catches, we haven't thrown the ball as much the last couple of weeks, he's made big plays, especially on the backside of coverages or roll coverages to Jerry when they're trying to take Jerry away. I believe JT will have a great game in the Super Bowl because you know, I would suspect that they'll be weighted towards Jerry, and JT's finally healthy enough that he can go do it.
Steve, I know you're very happy after winning the NFC Championship game. I can tell you this from experience. When you win the Super Bowl, there is not a feeling like it. Good luck when you play.
Thank you, Len. I look forward to it.
Steve Young is smiling. Do you think that monkey or that gorilla is off his back as of yet? He is a different quarterback. Let's bring in Jimmy Johnson because I want to talk about Steve Young. Jimmy, you had the opportunity to coach against Steve Young in a couple of NFC Championship games. How much of a different quarterback is he today?
Well, Len, you know, the past few years, the San Francisco defense wasn't quite as strong as what it is today. And I think in past years, you know, I felt like Steve Young was always trying to force the football and trying to make sure that the offense won the game by scoring a lot of points. Now, I think now he understands the defense is much better, and he's really playing within the offense. He's not forcing the football. You look at the game against the Cowboys, he only threw for 155 yards, but he had an outstanding game, and they scored 38 points.
Jimmy, that's a great point, and the point really applies to his running the football. When he first got in the league, he would drop back and almost instinctively want to run the ball first and then find a receiver. But now you see him reading that defense, and especially when teams try to play man coverage against him, he knows then with those linebackers chasing, he has a good chance to run the ball right up the middle.
Yeah, and too, Chris, you look at last week, the Cowboys talked about they were going to treat him as a running back. On a key play, Steve Young ran the football, lowered a bad shoulder, and went through Robert Jones, who was unblocked, and James Washington, two of the more physical players for the Cowboys.
Yeah, but Jimmy, I think the difference between Steve Young now and a couple of years ago is he truly played in the shadow of Joe Montana, and he lived with Joe Montana. This year he said, "To hell with Joe Montana. This is my team, and I'm going to take over the leadership."
Well, he has certainly done it. I don't know if he cursed at Joe Montana.
He did not.
He didn't curse. I didn't hear him do that. He's doing an outstanding job. Well, it's fairly evident for Steve Young he's a much more emotional player today than he was a couple of years ago, but he is not the only emotional player on that 49er team. One of their top draft picks, William Floyd, is also very emotional, as we'll see in this week's cover story.
49ers are going to the Super Bowl. The Cowboys.
Sunday, when the 49ers finally ended their NFC Championship game jinx against the Cowboys, it was an emotional day here at Candlestick Park. This was the reward for a team that had played with a new kind of passion and verve this season. One of the guys responsible for spreading that contagious attitude is William Floyd, the irrepressible rookie.
At the beginning of the season, I told everybody that I was the best fullback in the NFL, bar none. And I really meant that. I didn't come in with the attitude that I was a rookie. I never came in thinking that I couldn't do anything. I never put myself behind the fence that I couldn't climb over. It was like I saw a goal and I focused in on it, and I knew exactly what I wanted and exactly what I wanted to do.
Let's go. Now nicknamed Bar None by his teammates, William Floyd has turned doubters into believers. In his first start against Detroit, he scored 2 touchdowns. Floyd's end zone party drew criticism from the coach, but seemed to ignite a spark in the 49ers.
We're not back in the Vince Lombardi days or the Mike Ditka days or the, all the different guys that hate for young guys to come up and just be excited about what we're doing. Like I told Coach Seifert when he thought I should stop doing it, I told him, I said, "Coach, that's almost like me to tell you to stop wearing your glasses or to stop slicking your hair back on the sideline or something like that. I mean, I can't do that. That's my game. That's the way I do it."
He said, "Listen, this is the 90s. You guys are back in the 80s. It's time to move on, And we all kind of chuckled about it, but honestly, we all kind of, okay, all right, let's get with it. And so even Jerry and I were kind of, all right, it's the 90s. It's a new generation. Let's get with it. And we started practicing up on our dances and our high fives and everything else. And we've become a team of the 90s, I guess, as you could say. And Williams a lot to credit for it.
Floyd has always been an intense player. Growing up in St. Petersburg, he learned early on how tough the game was physically when he broke another kid's ribs.
I felt bad at first, because I was like, oh, man, I hurt this kid, And, you're 8 years old and you break somebody's rib. I mean, I'd never done anything like that before. And I looked over at the sideline and my coach was like, so I said, well, okay, I guess it's part of the game.
But the part of the game William enjoys most is blocking, a mundane task for some. Approaches it with uncommon desire and bravado.
He gets tremendous leverage, but I think it's more from in here. It's his heart. I mean, he wants to block. Sometimes you go in there and you say, well, I kind of would like to block this guy, but he's kind of big and strong, so I don't know if I really want to do that. But him, he wants to block. He doesn't care how big the guy is. He's going to try to knock their heads off.
He's devastated. It's impact, and he drives his leg afterwards. And for a rookie to be starting out, have that kind of starting point, and if you're doing that now, what's he going to be doing 5 years from now?
I don't think there's a person alive right now that I can't block. I just like to hit people. Now, I don't know what it is about it that gives me that drive to just want to hit people, but, I mean, I'm not a violent person, and I think that's the way I can take out my anger, just out on the field, and some of the anger I have, but, I mean, it's also a lot of desire, because I just love the game so much.
It is that sheer love of the game that the 49ers find so contagious. The stakes are higher now, but Floyd's playground attitude remains unchanged.
It's a game of warriors, a game of gladiators, and we put our hearts into it. So why not have fun? Why do we have to hand the ball to the referee and walk back to the sideline like we're in the Army or something? Why can't we spike the ball and get the crowd into it and everybody have a good time? That's what it's all about. That's what football is all about.
His exuberance has helped energize the team. Now William Floyd and the 49ers hope to ride that wave of emotion to a Super Bowl victory.
Next week, we're on the road in Miami for our annual Super Bowl preview show as we dissect the big game.
The emotional William Floyd has found a way to coexist with his stoic head coach. And joining us on the program now, our own Gary Myers. Gary, I want to ask you about George Seifert. Here's a guy that, despite all his success, rumors are that he may not be back with the 49ers.
Well, Chris, Ed DeBartolo, the 49ers owner, ended those rumors on Thursday when he said that Seifert will definitely be back as 49ers coach in 1995. The scenario that had been speculated upon was in order to keep Mike Shanahan, their offensive coordinator, they were going to elevate him to head coach while moving George Seifert to the front office. Well, that will not be happening next year.
All right, well, one of the candidates for jobs all over the National Football League, the San Francisco assistant, Mike Shanahan. Let's start with Denver. Is he going to get that job?
Well, I'll tell you what, he's definitely the #1 candidate in Denver. Last weekend, Broncos owner Patrick Bowlen flew to San Francisco for the Cowboys-49ers game. And if San Francisco had lost, he was prepared right then to ask the 49ers for permission and then to go to talk to Shanahan. If eventually he cannot get Shanahan, he's already interviewed Jim Fossil, the Broncos offensive coordinator, or he might go after a big-name college coach such as Steve Spurrier from Florida.
How about the Philadelphia Eagles and Jeff Lurie? They're down to their final strike now.
He's 0 for 2 right now. He went after Jimmy Johnson, couldn't get him, couldn't close the deal with Dick Vermeil. I think Shanahan is at the top of their list right now. Ray Rhodes, the 49ers defensive coordinator, is also on that list, as well as Barry Alvarez, the coach at the University of Wisconsin.
What about the St. Louis Rams?
They really haven't gotten into it yet because they have been so busy on concentrating on their move. But the names you hear right now are Ray Rhodes, Ernie Sampisi, the Cowboys offensive coordinator, and also Alvarez and Rich Brooks, the coach at Oregon.
All right, now let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys. Their season is over. This is a big off-season for them.
And the focus really, Chris, is on Jerry Jones in this off-season. He might have to make a lot of major moves if, Zampese gets the Rams job. Defensive coordinator Butch Davis is a candidate at the University of Miami. But most importantly is what he does with his free agents. We know Michael Irvin will be back because if he can't sign him to a new contract, he'll just make him the franchise player. But the guy that's really jumped to the top of the priority list is Tony Tolbert, the defensive end, because Charles Haley told his teammates after the game last week that he's retiring. When you look at the defensive ends on the Cowboys roster right now, you have Tolbert, you have Jim Jeffcoat, who's also a free agent, and last year's #1 pick, Shante Carver, who was made inactive for the championship game last week.
All right, now that the season is winding down, it's time for the 2 expansion teams to fill their roster. The expansion draft is February 15th. What kind of talent is out there on that draft?
Well, Chris, there is a lot of high-priced, big-name talent on this list, as you can see. Now, what the theory is that teams either want to clear out the big numbers out of their salary cap, hope an expansion team takes one of these players, or they put these players on the list because they have big numbers, knowing that an expansion team will not take them.
All right, Gary, thank you very much. See you next week.
Okay, Chris.
Well, while the Chargers-Steelers game played second fiddle to the NFC contest, it was actually a closer, more competitive game.
From Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh on a rainy Sunday, the San Diego Chargers are hoping some thunder and lightning shows up on the field later today. The Chargers hoping to go where they've never, ever been before, the Super Bowl.
From Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, home of the terrible towel, listen to this crowd as the Steelers come onto the field. One more victory, and you head to Miami.
Guaranteed victory. I guarantee it's going to be a knockout, baby.
Don't believe the hype. A lot of people better stop reading their press clippings. Press clippings don't get you beat.
We're going to win. We are going to win. And you know why? Because we're better than those.
The greatest moments in your life.
We don't lose in this. Now we're going to go out there one play at a time. The most important play, our way. Physical, and relentless.
On the game's first series, San Diego was surprised by Pittsburgh's passing game. Neil O'Donnell threw 9 times in 13 plays. Impressive drive ended with a touchdown pass to John L. Williams. At this point, no one could have guessed it would be Pittsburgh's last trip to the end zone today. Victim was number 57 linebacker Dennis Gibson, who's known more for run stopping than pass defense.
Touchdown! He broke the tackle of Dennis Gibson, the middle linebacker, and literally fell into the end zone.
Gibson would be heard from again. Another key to this AFC Championship was the way the Chargers shut down Barry Foster. Their ability to control the run kept them in the game.
Barry crossing midfield, loose football, and they're diving forward, and San Diego has it at the 41-yard line.
Foster's counterpart on the Chargers, Natron Means, also was held in check until his team's final series of the first half.
Deep drop to throw, a blitz comes, they pick it up. Looking long, throwing deep to Jefferson, off his fingertips. Yay, pass interference.
With the ball on the Steeler 2, San Diego had 4 cracks at the end zone against the NFL's most celebrated defense.
Jumbo backfield out of an I formation from the 1. They give it to Means, hit at the goal line and stuffed.
3 consecutive runs by Means did not get it done. Diego settled for 3 points, which the Steelers matched on their next series. A golden opportunity was gone, and the Chargers knew it.
We had 4 plays to get 2 yards, and we did not get them.
Ended 10-3, but a disquieting note for the confident Steelers and their fans was that the Chargers were hanging tough.
At halftime, we find the Steelers leading by the score of 10-3. We'll take a look at the second half highlights in just a bit. But first, we'd like to talk to the quarterback of the San Diego Chargers, Stan Humphries. Stan, thank you very much for joining us on the program. First half, Stan, you seem to be cooling your heels a lot on the sidelines. I didn't see you much out on the field. And what were you thinking about the second half, and how are you going to generate some offense against that very tough Pittsburgh defense?
Well, the first half, we really didn't do anything successful on offense. We didn't have the ball that much. Whenever we did have it, it was 3 or 4 plays and out. Their defense was playing well. Really, the first half, we had the 1 big play. The pass interference got it down to the 1. And then their defense made 3 great plays and kept us out of the end zone. Basically, we just got to go in at halftime and talk about some things that we tried to do, some things that we still have in our game plan that we're wanting to use, and get back out there and get the football and, get it down the field and get it in the end zone.
Stan, you guys are dying inside that red zone. I mean, except for that gimmicky play against Miami, you had trouble against them, and you had trouble against Pittsburgh last week. Now you go against a veteran San Francisco defense. What are you going to do to change this?
Well, we're going to have to come up with some more gimmicky plays, I guess, to get it in the end zone. But, we've been struggling a little bit down inside the red area down there, 20-yard lines in. And, we just got to get out there and try to make some plays. We've probably scored more outside the 40 than we have inside the 20. So, but we've got to come up with something and be able to get it in the end zone against these guys.
Stan, last week Pittsburgh showed you guys no respect. They already planned their Super Bowl video and all that stuff. Now for San Francisco, their players are saying they've already played the Super Bowl. Eddie DeBartolo's guaranteeing a victory. Can you guys parlay all this trash talking into one more win?
Well, I hope so. I think that this football team is confident in what we can do. Nobody's given us credit from day one that we've started. I think we were picked 26th or 27th in the league this year, and so we haven't had a lot of credit from day one. Until an AFC team wins the Super Bowl, then I think the NFC will always be the team to talk about, and the AFC will be a team that doesn't get any credit. So until an AFC team wins it, then I don't know if you deserve a lot of respect, but I feel like we've earned a lot the last 3 or 4 weeks, and hopefully we can carry it over this weekend.
Stan, if you'd be kind enough to stick around after we take a look at the second half highlights, we'd like to chat with you a little bit more.
No problem.
Well, the Steelers dominated the first half, but they had 30 minutes to play before they could safely wave those terrible towels. But on the other hand, San Diego had other ideas.
Third play of the third quarter, disaster struck the Chargers. Interception led to a Pittsburgh field goal and a 13-3 lead. Able to sustain a drive, San Diego desperately needed a big play. There was no place to hide either. While the Steelers were landing their blows on the second series of the third quarter, the Chargers struck to get back into the game.
Chargers have gone deep a couple of times trying to teach Pittsburgh a lesson. Let's see if they try it here. They're going to run it. No, play action. Humphries wide open for Buno at the 20, to the 10, to the 5, and he's touchdown!
Another look shows that the play fake to Natron Means froze the left side of the Steelers' defense and allowed seldom used tight end Alfred Papunu a wide-open touchdown. Pressure was now squarely on the Steelers.
It's our hands. You can't be a damn good team, be a good team, making mistakes. We're better than that.
That's all right. Hey, forget about it now. You do what you got to do. You got to totally forget about it. You got to totally forget about it. You know what I'm saying? Forget it. You dwell on it and it'll linger now. It's over. It's over, okay? You can't do anything about it now.
Late in the fourth quarter, the Chargers mounted their only sustained drive of the second half. But at the Steelers' 43-yard line, they would need another big play.
Looking long, throwing deep. Oh, he's caught! Streak pattern. Humphreys got pounded after he released the ball. Foul, Pittsburgh. Touchdown, San Diego. 43-yard strike.
Their second long bomb, the Chargers took a 17-13 lead. But with a little over 5 minutes to play, there was plenty of time for the Steelers to make one final run at the AFC Championship.
17-13. This touchdown has put the ball into Neil O'Donnell's hand. He has to now step up and win the game for the Steelers.
On a first down, O'Donnell to throw, steps into the pocket, throws out to the 30-yard line to Eric Green, the tight end.
The Steelers methodically marched down the field as Neil O'Donnell seemed to have an answer for every Chargers defense.
Red 2. How about your wide flag?
5 passes in a row. Neil fires it over the middle, caught by Eric Green. 2-minute warning, timeout on the field. It's 17-13. Timeout.
Yeah.
After a first down run netted nothing, the Steelers flirted with disaster on second down.
Oh, Gibson had it in his fingertips, and it came out.
The Steelers were still alive on the road to the Super Bowl, but so were the Chargers.
Here is Neil O'Donnell from the 10, backpedaling, deep drop to throw, goes on a slant, caught at the 5-yard line. The tackle is made immediately. Timeout.
Hey, come on, give me. Go.
Here we go.
And the season comes down to a final play for Pittsburgh. It'll be a 4th down.
How about our sticks play? 0 strong flex, F fly, 74 sticks.
74 semi-sticks.
Down to 4th down here, so San Diego is really right now talking to each other, said, guys, this is it. This is our season right here. Let's hold on.
4th down and goal from the 3. 3 wide receivers, John L. Williams in motion. Neil O'Donnell on a 4th down play to save the season to throw. Fire! And down! Down at the goal line by San Diego! That is Gibson. Cutting in a deep drop, got a hand on the football. And the Chargers have kept the Steelers out of the end zone on a 4th down.
Super Bowl, we were going to the Super Bowl. San Diego did it. They pulled off the upset of the year.
This football game is over. The lightning bolt has come to Blitzburg, has won it, will turn right at the stop sign and head to Miami.
Oh, the man, Bobby. You did it, Bobby.
The Chargers are going to the Super Bowl. The lightning bolt is going to the big show.
And I hit it one time. I got to go to the Super Bowl.
Well, the Chargers doing a little dance in the locker room. What they were doing, mocking the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers were talking about having a rap video made when they won the AFC Championship, but it was not to be because Stan Humphries and the San Diego Chargers will be representing the AFC in the Super Bowl. I'd like to bring Stan back to talk about this game against the San Francisco 49ers. Stan, you've played the 49ers once before, and they've kicked your butts. Why is it going to be any different this time around?
Well, I felt like, going to the 49ers game the first time we played them, we were struggling a little bit as a team. The second half of the 49ers game, I felt like offensively we came out and put a lot of things together. And I felt like the second half of that game was when we got our confidence back and began to get on a roll. And hopefully this is a different football team maybe than when we played them last time.
Yeah, but the last time you played them in that second half, Deion Sanders also did a little high-stepping on you, returned an interception for 90 yards. People wonder whether or not you can even attempt to throw a pass his way. Do you feel comfortable throwing over there?
Well, I think I'll go through my reads and throw the football wherever it takes me. He's a great athlete. He makes a lot of plays. but he's a guy that gets away with a lot in this league just because of who he is. I mean, you can see some of the things that he gets away with downfield, but hey, if my reads take me towards him, I'll throw the football. If he makes a great play, he makes a great play.
Stan, everybody's saying that if San Diego is going to stay in the game, you have to control the ball by running it. You have to keep San Francisco's offense off the field. Now, in the first game against San Francisco, only 56 yards rushing. How are you going to get Natron Means juiced up for this game?
Well, we have to. There's no doubt about it. We've got to be able to run the football. I think that we're a lot better as far as physically right now. We've got a lot of guys back. That game we were kind of banged up. We were hurt, had some rookies playing. With getting into the playoffs, having a bye week, we've got a lot of our guys back healthy. And I feel like that the second half of the Miami game, where we controlled the football, ran the football, the play action, the little passes in there, where we controlled the time of possession and scored touchdowns, I think that's how we're going to have to play the 49ers.
Stan, now you go back down to Miami, and you know what it's like because you were a backup quarterback for the Washington Redskins. The millions of interviews, what are you telling your teammates to try to get them prepared for this, I call it a chaotic mess down in Miami?
Well, I'm trying to tell them to get everything taken care of this week, whether it's your family, it's hotel rooms, it's tickets, or whatever. Get it all taken care of this week and go down there and have a good time, but realize you're going down there with a purpose. And there'll be a lot of media, there'll be a lot of people wanting your attention. There's no need of fighting over them because they'll be there. But it's just a matter of going down there for a purpose, and that's to play in a football game, but to enjoy yourself when you're down there.
Stan, the last time there was a quarterback that was this big an underdog in a Super Bowl, he guaranteed victory and came away with the win. What do you say, Stan? Will you want to guarantee anything right now?
No, I don't think so. I don't think I'll be wearing any pantyhose or anything like that either. But, you know, we're excited about it. And, hey, nobody gives us a chance just like it's been all year. But we're excited about our chances to go down there and play this game. Anything can happen on a Sunday.
Stan, I can tell you from personal experience what it's like to be the underdog and win a Super Bowl. You have to believe. Good luck against the San Francisco 49ers.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Stan seems relaxed and confident, but he has yet to arrive at the Super Bowl site in Miami. That's when all the hype is going to hit down there. Jimmy Johnson, come back here because I want to talk to you about that hype and focusing. In your first Super Bowl game, how were you able to handle the hype and get your players to focus on the game?
Well, Lynn, the first thing I did, I talked to Bill Parcells, and he said, make sure you have some administrators take care of the players' tickets, their families, any problems that might come up prior to the Super Bowl, get all that taken care of, and even have them working with them during the Super Bowl. As far as the players, we practiced exactly like we did during the regular season, the exact same routine. We practiced in pads, and I think that really helped us to prepare for that Super Bowl.
Jimmy, I agree with you because I think preparation is everything for a ball game. And one of the ways in our first ball game that we went Super Bowl was very difficult because the distractions really took away from our focus, and we weren't ready to play that ball game against Dallas. We were humiliated. The next year was easy against the Washington Redskins because we had something to amend for, and we did. The third one against Minnesota was the one that we really had to work hard on. Schuler really worked this hard, and we were prepared, but only after hard work. And I think this is what San Francisco's problem is. Can George Seifert get them on track, get them focused, and get them ready?
Well, you guys are talking about winning Super Bowls. Let me tell you about how you lose a Super Bowl.
Okay.
See, I'm the expert on that part of it here. But it's interesting, you're talking about on-the-field things, and really I think as much of it has to do with what happens off the field. In our first Super Bowl appearance in Pontiac, we got there, we had 11 o'clock curfew every night. The guys were uptight, they're sort of bouncing off the walls. We went in to get taped up before the game. They had a fist fight over who was supposed to get taped first in the ball game. The second time around, though, Sam White should let us go out and have a little fun, enjoy ourselves, and we played much better than that one. We still lost, but we played better.
What else are you going to do in Pontiac, Michigan in January but skate around out there? You know, what you have to do, you got to know your team and what is best for them. You know, while most of America will have their attention turned to the big game on Super Sunday, one former player will be shooting a movie instead. We caught up with former Seahawk Brian Bosworth recently. Incidentally, Brian is the youngest person ever profiled in a Where Are They Now segment.
In an era when style ranks higher than substance, an All-American from the University of Oklahoma catapulted into our living room and rode the wave of the burgeoning MTV generation. His signature read, The Boz.
Glasses, gentlemen. To civilization.
If I had to do all over again, I would probably dispel the whole imagery about it because that really distracted me more than anything. because it didn't belong in the game. I know that fans enjoyed the aspect of this new guy coming in. He's larger than life. He's colorful. He's he's this and he's that. I was a football player, and that's all I ever wanted to be. From the time I was 6 years old, and I still want to be a football player.
Though he won the Butkus Award twice as the nation's best collegiate linebacker, critics labeled him the Wizard of Oz in the land of height. 1987 supplemental draft pick by Seattle, Brian Bosworth's celebrated bid to overwhelm the NFL ended after just 3 injury-plagued seasons, having played only 24 games.
I looked at my career as an athlete, basically unfulfilled. I'm a very high-stressed, sad, jealous, mean, bitter athlete, only because I know the potential that I had, and it was taken away from me because of, unforeseen happenings with injuries in my shoulders. And, athletes, they all realize that their day comes when their career is over. I just wish it had not come for me as soon as it did.
Used to lifting 400 pounds, Brian now has trouble lifting 40 pounds. After 6 shoulder operations, his degenerative neck disc and joint disease has left him with limited mobility and a grueling regimen of constant rehabilitation.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
You all right? Despite the physical limitations, Brian used the celebrity gained from football to become an actor, starring in the 1991 movie Stone Cold. But Hollywood's a tough town, and the struggling actor was unemployed for over 3 years. Now nearing completion on his second movie, due out late this summer, Brian plays Army Drill Sergeant John North in the motion picture North's War, a character eerily reminiscent of his life.
The one thing I had that was important before I had a family was football, and that was ripped out from underneath me. Now I have a family, and I can just imagine that being ripped out from underneath me as well. So correlating those two things together has really helped me in preparation for this film role. And John North is a really close replica of Brian Bosworth.
Even though there's a new horizon in life as a professional actor living in California, it's still difficult for Brian to come to the realization that the sun set prematurely on his football career.
This is something that Nick and Lynn and Chris should be doing, not me. I'm 29 years old. I was kind of thinking that, this whole segment should be, what did he do last week against, the Buffalo Bills or somebody? But it's the scariest thing that I've ever done because it dredges up some of the old memories that I've had, some of the deep hurt that I've had, and it's something that I have fought. I don't want this to ever end. And thanks for coming to my home and making it end.
It's the Boz. Living in the Midwest, I have followed him all the way through the University of Oklahoma and his short career with the Seahawks. That guy has changed physically. Take a look at these shots here, and you can see the difference between when he was playing and what he looks like right now. Steroids will get you, boy.
You know what, though? Even without steroids, things happen to linebackers over there. If you want a little proof, just take a look.
Come on, guys. I couldn't afford a haircut. I couldn't afford a haircut back then.
Like you're dipping off this edge of the world there, man.
That's the Hollywood look. It's supposed to tilt your head.
Hollywood, Hollywood, Massachusetts. When your father's in the bakery business and you're Italian, you balloon up like that, ladies and gentlemen. That is not steroids. All right. Last week, we all were 1-1 in our pick segments. Nobody picked the San Diego Chargers. And for the playoffs, Dick Buoniconti, you're in a position I haven't seen you before, down there at the bottom with me. Now, next week, we're going to be in Miami for our Super Bowl preview show, and we're going to be telling you who we think is going to win that contest.
Lenny, they don't care who we think are going to win. They want to know about those 19 points. Do you give them or take them for the office pool?
Stan Humphries, I love the interview with him. Wait till he goes to Miami. He has to get 1,000 interviews. I mean, he's going to go up there and go crazy. Stan, the only thing is, don't forget to look at your game plan.
Absolutely. Not only will we be in Miami, but also we'll be joined by Don Shula and several current players as well. Remember, Inside the NFL premieres each Thursday evening at 11 p.m. If you miss any part of it, you can catch it again Fridays at 7 p.m. and Saturdays at 11 a.m. Those times are Eastern and Pacific. Join us again next week from Miami for HBO's Inside the NFL.
Hi, I'm Boyd Dowler. I caught a 62-yard touchdown pass in Super Bowl II to help the Packers defeat the Raiders. Tune in next week to HBO's Inside the NFL to see where I am now.
The rest is short. 1 week. Yes, ain't but 2 left. Ain't but 2 left. And we got 2 on the West Coast going at it right now. It don't matter, baby. It don't matter. Don't nobody care. Didn't nobody respect us.
Oh, my finger looks small, but I think I can put a ring on it.
This has been a presentation of HBO Sports, the network of champions.